Hey everybody, it's Amanda again. I just wanted to share some weird stories with you real quick and see if you guys have had anything like this happen recently. The first thing is my kids started school Wednesday at a charter school, and because it's a charter school and it's a little different than the normal public school, it's not close to where we live. So we have to drive like 40 minutes in traffic to get them to school in the morning. So after I dropped them off yesterday, I realized on the way home that I was going to have to get gas again because it's really taken up a lot of gas to get them up there, and I have to drive up there and back twice a day. And so I told my older son, my younger two are in the school, my older son wanted to be homeschooled still, so I told my older son, we're going to have to leave a little early so we can get gas before we go pick them up. So we did. We left a little early. I filled up on gas and I reset the trip odometer to 0 because my husband had told me that he checked and it was 22.4 miles one way. And I thought, wow, we have to drive for 40 minutes, only 22 miles, so I thought I would check it. I would check him. So I remember I reset it to 0 when we filled up. And this was in a town on the way there. It wasn't even in our town. So it was like 6 or 8 miles away from our house. So this is even going to be like 6 miles at least less than what he said the trip was going to be. So we get there and we pick him up. We come home. The only deviation from going straight there and coming straight home is we pulled off the right side of the road and went around this building to pick up a pizza, this little tiny building. Couldn't even been a quarter of a mile out of our way. Like it was just, we just went off the road, went around this building and got back on the road. So anyway, so we get home and the trip odometer says 70.3 miles. And I'm thinking, wow, he really messed up. It's not 45 miles, it's 70 miles. That's going to that's huge. That's a big difference. So I tell him about it and he's like, there's something wrong. And of course he said it's operator error, of course. Of course he did, because that's what I would assume. I would say you didn't reset it, the trip thing. But I did. I remember I reset it. It was on 0 when we left the gas station. So I have no idea what happened. We don't have any missing time. I don't remember driving around an extra 25 or 30 miles. My kids don't, we still got home at the normal time. So I thought, well, something's weird. So again, this morning when I left the house, I set the trip to 0 and we got home and it said 40 whatever miles, not 70. So I'm like, what on earth is happening? What is going on? Why? I know it was at 0, and I know it was at 70 something when we got home. I should have taken a picture. But I know it was 70 because I went out again last night, and it was only like 35 miles round trip because I went back into town. I didn't quite go all the way back up to where the kids' school was, but I did go back into town, and it was normal. It was normal mileage again for that. So anyway, I don't know what happened there. If y'all have any similar experiences, I didn't know a trip odometer could screw up. It's digital. It's not an old one. It's not like some part of the number blanked out or something and I just thought it was 70. I don't know. Anyway, so that's the first thing. The second thing I thought of was the other, I guess it was either yesterday or the day before. I think it was Wednesday morning. I was walking in our driveway. We live kind of out in the country, so our driveway's long. So I put on my map my walk, and I stop when I get to a mile or two, depending on how I feel. So I was walking up and down the driveway, and we are surrounded by fields on 3 sides of us. To the west of us is a little house, but there are a bunch of trees between us and them. And they're surrounded by fields too. So I'm walking down the driveway toward the road, and I hear some guys talking in the field. And I thought, well, I wonder what they're doing, if they're out, repairing the fences or something. And so I look over in the field, and I don't see anybody. There's nobody. And I'm looking all around, and I thought, well, maybe there's somebody walking by the road. I don't know why there would be, because I don't see any cars. It's a main road. There's no sidewalks or anything. There's ditches on both sides, so that would be dangerous. So I'm looking on the road, waiting for somebody to cross in front of our driveway so I can see them. And I don't ever see anybody. And I don't know where that voice came from. It's really weird. I've never had that happen before here that I recall. Normally, if you hear a voice, it's, the highway guys cleaning up trash or something. And that's it. That's the only, I've lived here for 13 years, 14 years. So that was weird. And I didn't hear exactly what the guy was like. I felt like it was two guys discussing like maybe some stuff that needed to be done, because I remember the last thing I heard was the one guy's voice saying, all right, like, okay, I understand. But he said, all right. I heard that clearly. So I don't know what that was. That was the second weird thing. And then the third weird thing that I'm not sure I ever mentioned was a few months ago, I was at my daughter's dance class, which is from 5 to 6. And I usually bring them a book to read. So they had been practicing a while. I'd been reading my book. And, I wondered how much longer they were going to be, because I was getting kind of bored, I guess. I don't know. It was loud. And so I looked up at the clock, and it said 5:50. And I thought, oh, wow, that went by really fast. So I closed up my book, got everything ready to go, packed up, and they just kept practicing and practicing. And I thought, oh, gosh, they're running over tonight. So I looked back up at the clock, and it's 5:30. And I'm thinking, what? There must be something wrong with the clock. So I checked my phone, and it's 5:30. And the clock has never been wrong before. It's not like it was out of batteries or anything. How could it jump backwards? That's bizarre. So, so from then on, I kept watching the clock to make sure the clock was fine. I never saw anybody touch the clock or do anything with the clock. So that was weird. I've never had time jump backwards 20 minutes on me. And when stuff like this happens, you just go, well, there's something wrong with the clock, or there's something wrong with the trip odometer, or the sound is carrying from someplace ridiculously far away, and that's just what you tell yourself. But yeah, I'm just starting to notice these things and take note of them and really pay attention to when weird stuff like this happens, because it's so easy to just write it off. And if you just write it off your whole life, then how many things happen that kind of show you that your world is not what you think it is, that you just don't pay attention to unless you focus on them. So, and if you focus on them and you realize things are different, then you can, shift your perception of reality. And if you can shift your perception of reality, then maybe you can shift it in a direction that is much more pleasant and that you would rather have. So that's my take on weird stuff happening. So if you've had anything weird, like time jumps backwards or forwards, or weird mileage showing up on your car that you have no memory of, and there's no time missing, unless we jumped backwards in time, drove around a bunch and don't remember it. None of us remember that, so that's weird. And hearing people that aren't there, that's just, I'm gonna stop talking about this because I sound crazy now, and maybe I need to stop focusing on that. I don't know. Anyway, I just thought I'd share in case anybody else had weird stuff. You're not alone. And please share in the comments so I don't feel as crazy as I sound right now. Anyway, happy Friday, guys. Hope you're having a good day and that you have a good weekend. And I will post again on Monday. Much love. Bye.